The boy's sitting over here talking about he want to leave a seed in the world because he don't understand the possibilities for his life, and you all arguing back and forth with one another instead of encouraging and empowering these young people. I'm furious. Because that's what babies deserve. Their mother and their father in the hospital when they're born, signing the birth certificate and living their life. Not 2 years later, still sitting up here arguing with eeny, meeny, miny, and no.
I'm sorry.
Talking about we don't know this, and she did this, and he did this, talking about nothing.
Ms. Nazarene is in court today accusing Mr. Rami, her ex-boyfriend, of never stepping up to care for their kids together. At the same time, Mr. Rami is suing her for her completely irrational behavior.
You are here today to sue your ex-boyfriend. You say he has caused you and your 2 children much pain and suffering by never stepping up as their father. Mr. Rami, you claim Ms. Nazarene has done immeasurable damage to your life and career by her very difficult.
This is going to be one messy case. It also appears like they're here to see each other on a character basis, and it doesn't have much to do with paternity. Like they say, something real is brewing here. Let's find out more.
When I became pregnant and
things were soured long before that. She's not the most easy person to deal with. There are definitely signs that were
What do you mean specifically?
complete irrationality. The decision to be overtly angry.
Okay, this is about to get interesting. Pursuing a rap career for 18 years without a job? That's extreme. On the other hand, Ms. Nazarene being physically and emotionally abusive is something I want to hear more about.
Well, it depends on what steady is. No, I haven't. I have sent help. Whenever she's hit me up and asked for money, if I was able to
every
help.
once in a while he sent $100. He paid child support when he was with his.
How about the emotional support? What
Well,
about that?
if she wouldn't have taken my children to Georgia.
This is one bickering pair. My guess is they're going to throw words at each other throughout this hearing. Also, no one seems to doubt the paternity of the 2 kids. So what's this about?
Just died. He just turned 21, died on his...
Called you when you told me that I let you know I had a $700 electric bill and your son. So I don't care about your brother's son. You don't care about your own son. Why would I care about your brother's son? Keep it 100. Keep it 100.
So during this time, she sends a list of text messages.
Wait, what? Ms. Nazarene really told Mr. Rami that she didn't give a hoot about his nephew's death because he also didn't care about their son. Now that is vile. At least show some compassion for the dead.
Take this from me because I mean it earnestly. If you want this man to be involved in his kid's life, you've got to sometimes, at least sometimes. I mean, you're a beautiful lady.
Judge Lauren is hysterical at this point, and she's right to be. Ms. Nazarene was being so extreme by sending such a text to a grieving man. Come on, ma'am, where's your soul?
Oh, I've never tried to act like I was anything other than what I am, which is...
What are you?
A loser. A loser.
Since he's been, I want him to tell me.
I am a writer.
And so am I.
And
I still do hair, and I still work.
She made her decision to be with me.
Mr. Rami appears to be too chill and composed, and of course proud. To him, his job or lack of one is not a problem. He's comfortable with his life and career. What then is the problem? Why is he now here?
Car there. She wants to have a discussion with me. She wants to yell and argue with me.
Okay.
I'm not going through that anymore. So I tell her that I'm leaving. At this point, I'm living with my parents.
That's a lie.
And
that's a lie.
After she punched me in the face, the exact quote, I'll never forget it, which was, hit me.
She's a liar.
She punched him? Wow. Who exactly is this woman? And what does she want? You say you want a man to take care of his kids, and you go ahead to 1. Insult his family and make fun of their mourning. 2. Hit him and dare him to hit you back.
Ms. Nazarene is difficult.
And I have every right to be.
But wait, I ask you to let me finish?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. She's difficult, but I'm a mother, and I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's just bad. Judge Lauren has taken it upon herself to school these 2 grown-ups who've decided to come in here to display their immaturity and nonchalance. A father who cared would make way more effort than Mr. Rami has been doing.
You don't really dislike the fact
I'll give you. Look, Ms. Nazarene, what I love with women, if you love the kids the way you say you do, you don't have to keep barking and barking. Everybody knows you take care. Raise your hand in this room if you don't think she took care of her kids by herself. Turn around.
That's a tough pill to swallow, but that's the truth. Ms. Nazarene and Mr. Rami have to put their differences aside and focus on the kids. Ms. Nazarene also needs to calm down and breathe.
Mr. Rami, to answer definitively, when can you visit with your kids?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
which will probably happen tomorrow.
And no, it's going to happen if I allow it.
If
so
she
you might
allows
want to
it.
make some arrangements.
This is what I've had to deal with this whole
I said this already. This isn't about the kids. Ms. Nazarene has so much anger inside of her, and Mr. Rami's stoicism is getting her even angrier. She cannot believe he is so stoic in the midst of so much.
Much deeper than this court can solve in this one session. I want you to consider, just like you may consider letting him see the kids tomorrow.
Indeed, this is an unusual case. We really cannot tell which way the chips will fall. It may fall Ms. Nazarene's way, or it could fall Mr. Rami's way. There is only one solution here. Let's see how Judge Lauren resolves it.
Family counseling in this court will provide the resource, because my concern is that out of love and protection for your kids, you are doing
Have my hat.
be there. Can you do that?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Powell doubts the paternity of his son because his ex-wife cheated on him 3 months after their marriage. His wife, Ms. Burns, who's here with her boyfriend, admits to cheating but wishes the child is his.
Burns cheated on you with the man standing next to her after only 3 months of marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then she left you to live with him, and now you say the paternity of your child is in question.
Now this is an interesting case. Ms. Burns cheated on her husband only 3 months after their wedding. That's ridiculous. Even worse, she moved out and went to live with her boyfriend, who surprisingly is also in court today.
We would get into an argument, and then if she got upset with that person, she would do the exact same thing.
Now, how long did this go on for?
For about a year.
You married her during this time, and you continually take her back.
That's right, because I love her.
What? This man watched his wife shuffle between different men for a whole year and still always welcomed her home. This is a special kind of love. And guess what? It gets even worse if you can believe it.
Marriage was good at first, mine and Kevin's. And
Well, it's just
then-
90 days.
Yes, but Mr. Powell's, I figured everything was put off on me. I have 3 other children other than the baby I provide for.
That's a nice comeback. But wait, 3 other children. So Ms. Burns had 3 children and a new husband, but kept sleeping with different men. We need to get more details about this story, because so far it's not very clear.
We have a child together. We have a 6-year-old together. So when the DNA come up for her and he come back the father to her, he wanted to meet her because,
Explain to me what you're saying. There was DNA testing done on this child,
yes.
and he...
What the heck is going on? First, Ms. Burns has been in a situation similar to this one. She's questioned the paternity of one of her other kids before. Second, how does a married woman leave her home to stay with a baby daddy who hasn't been around for 6 years?
Then did you tell both men you were pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor. I told Mr. Jones. He reacted differently than I expected. He
I was
mad.
pissed off. I wasn't very happy. I have 3 other kids, and then we got a DNA test with our 6th.
Whew, this has to be one of the most unbelievable cases we've ever come across. Ms. Burns and Mr. Jones have kids of their own, and one together, and Mr. Jones doesn't want another kid. Then there's Mr. Powell, who doesn't know what to believe anymore.
Who was at the hospital?
My mother was.
I was never called, Your Honor.
You never got a call?
I never got a call. I never got a text. I ain't nothing.
We're still having sex, Your Honor.
All this time?
Yeah, yes. Even to this day.
What?
No, this is unbelievable. Mr. Powell and Ms. Burns are still having sex. These people are divorced. Apart from that, there's a paternity issue at hand, and Ms. Burns is supposed to be with someone else.
A lie detector test.
You took a lie detector test?
To show you that I'm not lying and that I'm telling the truth. And so that
Do you
Mr.
have the
Jones
results
can know
here?
the truth. Your Honor, I do have
I
the results
definitely
here.
Jerome, please hand me those results.
Mr. Powell went as far as taking a lie detector test to prove that he and Ms. Burns are still having sex because he knew she was going to lie in court. Mr. Jones seems to think the whole thing is ridiculous, and so do we.
I did not know this was going to be like. I'm kind of
It's
hurt.
because she's lying to both of us.
The main reason why I actually left Miss Burns because she cheated on me.
We're as confused as you, Mr. Jones. Turns out Ms. Burns is a serial cheat and liar. And honestly, it's getting out of hand. Nobody knows what to believe anymore. Who is lying? Who is telling the truth?
I buy things for the baby.
Because you love the child.
I do. And I love the mother of this child.
And do you still want to be with her today?
Absolutely. When we got married, she told me ahead of time that she had 3 children previous to our relationship.
You may be thinking Mr. Powell is out of his mind, but he is just a man in love. What's sad is he's in love with the wrong person. This woman doesn't care about him, not even in the slightest bit.
I hope it's Mr. Powell's. Lucas, Your Honor, and actually, she calls me daddy and everything like that, Your Honor, and
Oh
Your
my
Honor,
goodness. So Miss Byrne,
At this point, the men have formed an alliance because they are both victims of Miss Byrne's tactics. How can you have your children calling two different men daddy? It's a lot to handle.
Where the two would-be fathers have now taken the same side of playing the podium against you. I've never seen it in all my days. And before I go to the results, I have to give you another opportunity because
She finally said the truth. It's time for the results. Let's find out who the lucky, or should we say unlucky, baby daddy is. The good thing is that Judge Lauren has all the results we might need right here for us.
Mr. Jones, you are his father.
sorry, man, I was rooting for you, bro.
Man, I mean, you just got them all messed up in the head. Mr. Jones?
Mr. Silva believes there is no way on this planet he is the biological father of Ms. Reeves's 7-month-old son, Legend, but the plaintiff, Ms. Reeves, is confident he is. In fact, Ms. Reeves is ready to put everything on the line.
Ms. Reeves, you are here today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Silva, is the biological father of your 7-month-old son, Legend. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Silva, you were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
There's got to be a reason Mr. Silva has doubts, don't you think? I'm curious to find out the nature of his relationship with Ms. Reeves and how they ended up in court today. Let's hear what Ms. Reeves has to say.
Well, it's affected everything in my life. We've been on and off for about 3 years. 100% sure. Like, why do you keep asking me? And don't get me wrong, he's a good guy, but I just want us to be able to move forward in our relationship without having any more arguments. And so I feel like the best way for us to be able to do this.
Before a man starts doubting the paternity of a child from a 3-year-long relationship, there's got to be something that raised his suspicion. Ms. Reeves's story is a bit too simple and straightforward. There has to be something behind her boyfriend's doubts.
I feel like she's tricking me into believing that I'm Legend's father. I grew up loving women, loving sex.
You grew up loving sex.
To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, and especially with a baby, you know, trying to say that I'm his father. You know, I just want.
All of this started because all he wanted to do was.
Oh, now we see what's happening. Mr. Patriarchy over here thinks it's okay for men to cheat, and he grew up believing that. Women, on the other hand, are not allowed to cheat, and he thinks his girlfriend did that and came home with a pregnancy too.
You know, God created men to conquer, to overrule, and woman cannot empower. Woman cannot empower men.
What are we on, Game of Thrones?
Seems Mr. Silva's here to give a lecture on what men and women can and cannot do. Mister, hold up for a second. We're here for the baby, and for this case to get anywhere, he needs to tell the court why he suspects the baby's not his. So far, he hasn't said anything tangible.
Okay, so let's just say hypothetically, you're here to conquer. Hypothetically. Why can't you conquer your doubt and conquer your fear that she's also doing something that she says she's not doing?
Well, Your Honor, I feel like if I'm out here, you know, doing what I'm doing, and she's...
Yes, Judge, she has put Mr. Silva in his place, and now the case can finally move forward. All this talk doesn't matter. We want to know why you're here with your girlfriend today, and not what you think you're allowed to do as a man.
Well, we was broken up at the time, but immediately, as soon as I told him that I was pregnant, he was like, oh, okay, with who?
Your Honor, we were broken up for 4 weeks, Your Honor. I called her texting her ex.
And is that why you broke up?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you
I confronted her
with
about texting her ex. You know, this ain't, you know, I caught them texting multiple times.
The story's finally taking shape. They were separated when Ms. Reeves found out she was pregnant, and that's why Mr. Silva has doubts. On the flip side, Mr. Silva is a community boyfriend, and that makes sense given his belief that a man can cheat with as many women as he wants.
That could give rise to some doubt. If you then change your password so he can't see what's going on your phone, to most men, that's gonna make him think she possibly is involved with somebody else. That doesn't make it right that he's doing the wrong thing either. But you have to understand that his extra affairs outside of your relationship.
Judge Lauren just put things straight now. Outside his ridiculous patriarchal beliefs, Mr. Silva's doubts are valid in this scenario. Why was she texting her ex, and why did she randomly change her password? Seems like she was hiding something.
Who was the father? So I did not believe I was the father, and I was not with her during her pregnancy. I was only there to be supportive during the birth.
So in that moment, despite your doubts, you said, I want to be there at the hospital when the baby is born.
Throughout the whole time I'm telling her I want a DNA test.
Because Because Mr. Silva did not believe the baby was his from the onset, he was not supportive during the pregnancy. That can be justified in some ways. We would have commended him for showing up at the hospital during the delivery, but then he was there with an agenda to take a DNA test.
And I've been there.
Since day one.
Since day one.
I got him clothes, everything he needed. I take care of him. I let him meet my family. I just needed this DNA test. That's the only way we could work on our relationship. That's the only way that I can continue loving my son.
So Mr. Silva does have a sweet side. He's been taking care of Ms. Reeves and Legend despite his doubts. Now we're hoping the baby's his, because if it's the other way around, it would definitely hurt the man.
Run through your mind.
I look at him and I love him. I fell in love with him.
Well, he loves him, but he's still telling everybody that he's not the father. Like,
I just have my doubt.
Yeah.
I just have my doubt.
Like, well, I have proof right here. A girl, she messaged me basically saying that...
This is one chaotic case. What is wrong with these two? Mr. Silva claims he loves Legend, but has been going around telling everyone he's not his father. Miss Reeves, on the other hand, is accusing him of cheating. I thought everyone already agreed that that has nothing to do with this case. Why is she dragging the whole thing back?
I feel a little hurt, you know what I mean? Because, like, we have a beautiful baby together. And I don't want him to grow up feeling like, oh, my daddy didn't even think that I was his. I don't want him to feel like, you know, we were just being irresponsible. I want him to love me the way that I love my parents.
The baby honestly looks more like her than me.
These two are playing games with each other. If this baby turns out to be his child, it's going to be such a shame that Mr. Silva spent 7 months doubting it, and one can never rely on looks, hence why they're here for a DNA test.
And I really, you know, hoping that the results saying that I'm his father, because father, I mean, that's not my child. Now I can't be a father to somebody else's child.
It hurts me, like you've been around him for a long time, you know what I mean? To do with him,
how you gonna make me take care of somebody else?
Who? Does Mr. Silva love her as he claims? Yes. It's difficult to father someone else's child, but he's being so mean to the woman he claims to love. You cannot claim to love someone and yet be so mean to them.
Terminology you all are using, kick rocks and this kind of thing, so was that he cannot be in a relationship with you, definitively. And that's
Ms. Reeves wants the relationship to move forward despite the DNA result. Will that be possible? If the result isn't what he likes, will he really put that aside? Let's find out what the result says.
Mr. Silva, you are the father. You are the father.
That's all I needed to know, Your Honor.
Ms. Nelson once told Mr. Fuller that he was the father of her 2-year-old daughter, Milani. But today, she's taking that back as she's confident he is not.
Fuller, you and your mother are here today to prove that you fathered the defendant, led you to believe that you were her daddy and build a strong relationship, but now wants to rip her away from you.
Yes, Mom.
Ms. Nelson, you acknowledge Mr. Fuller's relationship with your daughter, but say...
After telling him that he is the father of her child, Ms. Nelson suddenly has proof that he is not, and we could see why that information would be shocking to Mr. Fuller and his family. You would be shocked too.
They will never see my daughter again, and their time just has expired with my child.
Wow, that's kind of harsh considering they have a relationship with her, isn't it?
Barely.
The relationship you have with little
I got a bond with Milani. She'll bring her hair to me.
What do you mean their time with your child has expired? Is this some subscription or what? This case appears to be an interesting one, and I can't wait to find out why Ms. Nelson wants to end her child's relationship with the Fullers.
We accept that baby from day one. From day one. Anything that you ask us to do for this baby, we've been there for this baby.
You guys have been there as far as now with my financial situation, child.
Let's get the order.
I don't know why you
don't do a thing for my child.
But you never act like this with us. I love this baby with all my heart.
Ms. Nelson abruptly changed and turned her back on the Fullers. Why? If they had been there right from when Milani was born and they have been taking care of her financially, why does Ms. Nelson want to change that?
As much as Miss Fuller is off the hook right now, spending a month at my house, whatever, and then all of a sudden somebody tells me it's not my grandchild, I might be off the hook too. Why is it you believe he's not the father?
From day one, I never believed that he was the father, Your Honor.
If Miss Nelson says that she knew from day one that the baby was not for Mr. Fuller, it makes no sense that she has allowed him to spend so much time and money on the baby.
They ever form a relationship with the child?
My baby was about 5 or 6 months old. I was at work. I was with someone, in a relationship with someone, and they were...
So now at 5 months old, when the
the child's 5 months old, you're in a new relationship.
No, I was in a relationship before him.
Oh, before Mr. Fuller.
Me and the other guy was just on a break. Right.
And at 5 months, you were with this other guy.
Right.
Now we get what's going on. Miss Nelson was on a break from her relationship when she slept with Mr. Fuller. She got back with this boyfriend after the baby was born, and she claims that she never for once told the Fullers that her baby was theirs.
No, my mother reached out to you. That was behind my back. You're really not Milani's biological father. Did you ever say that?
I did tell them that he was not. I told Devontae that he was not her father.
This baby is a bond with me and with this boy. Let me tell you something. We love this baby.
You don't have. You're
wanna please. I don't even know why you even
have
this.
her.
Ms. Fuller loves this baby, and it's crystal clear how much she and her son want baby Malawani. But on the other end is the mother who doesn't want her child to have anything to do with the family. Is Ms. Nelson playing her cards right?
My household, my house where I live.
But if your
We
mama,
came
if,
to the
if,
con-
if
we
your
came
mama
to the
got a
con-
contract,
to my house. I
called us and told us.
But
to
you
come,
come to
and
work
I
though.
told her.
Okay.
I told
But
her.
listen.
No, I don't think we should come.
It seems Ms. Nelson's mother has been orchestrating the whole thing. She's the one who contacted the Fullers and asked them to come see the baby. Why was she doing that behind her daughter's back?
An attachment is almost by default.
And she's acting like
Because I don't understand how you so angry with two people that love your child so much.
I'm not angry at there. They have
You
not
never
been
said
there.
that.
So even in my chambers, I mean, because I had hair for y'all. I didn't know it. I did not know that the storm was coming like this, but I knew this was going to be a very interesting case. So I was reviewing some of the evidence.
There is no convincing Ms. Nelson. Everyone except her thinks Mr. Fuller is the father, but in truth, she would know who the father of her child is. We can't tell why she badly doesn't want Mr. Fuller to be her baby daddy, but we can't argue with her either.
Is Milani's biological father?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you believe your daughter cannot even believe it's a possibility that he's her biological father? What do you think this is about?
The other guy.
The other guy.
When her and the other guy gets mad, it's Mr. Fuller's baby. When her and Mr. Fuller's not speaking, then it's the other guy's baby.
Oh!
At this point, Judge Lauren is infuriated by Ms. Nelson's behavior towards the Fullers. And why does she have Mr. Fuller's name listed as baby daddy on her phone if he's not her child's father? Who does that?
But this confusion really isn't. It's really rooted in the fact that you had a relationship that you wanted. You went on breaks, always something on a break. Yours ended up being that you ended up with Mr. Fuller. After that was over, you got back together. This gentleman was accepting of Milani, might even be a potential father, but the workings of your mother.
Well, it's time to find out if Miss Nelson's right about the paternity of her child. What do you think? Do you she is right? Or is there something else happening here? Let us find out. The results are in.
Mr. Fuller, you are not her father.
I knew it. I knew I slept with. I knew it. I knew it.
Take this baby from us.
You should apologize regardless.